A Hamas official have indicated that Hamas needs more time to study the Gaza Peace Plan, put forward by U.S. President Donald Trump and backed by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. As per the official, Hamas is still continuing consultations regarding Trump's plan and has informed mediators that the consultations are ongoing and need some time. This comes after President Trump gave Hamas an ultimatum of 3 or 4 days to accept his plan to end the war in the Palestinian territory. The plan specifies an immediate ceasefire and exchange of all hostages held by Hamas for Palestinian prisoners held by Israel, a staged Israeli withdrawal from Gaza, the disarmament of Hamas, and the introduction of a transitional government led by an international body. Now, for this discussion, we are joined by guest Matti Zweig. He's a geopolitical expert, joins us live from Tel Aviv. Thank you, Matti, for joining us again. Good to see you. Matti, how optimistic can we be? Do you think Hamas will agree to these proposals, and why do you think Hamas might not agree?
Well, Asuma, thank you for having me. I think this is very clear today. Who is for this agreement? Israel, which is, of course, not very happy with some of the points, but they say this must have an end. Let's go with the Trump proposition. Trump, of course, the moderate Arab countries, most of the countries of the world, and who is against it? Hamas. And all his allies, which means Iran, or even secretly some of the elements in the government of Qatar, which they are going to say, no, we are for this agreement from the other side. They have been, I don't know, is somehow being like partners with Hamas. And this is very clear today. Hamas doesn't want peace. Hamas wants to hold the hostages as a card for their survival. And let's not fool ourselves. Hamas is a genocidal, jihadist, terrorist group that doesn't want to free the Palestinian people from their grip. And they have now an alternative to free the hostages, to dismantle themselves, and even to the heads of Hamas to give an amnesty and to go out from Gaza or to stay, and it will be no harm for them. So why do they say no? Let's think about it. It's very simple. They want to keep power because they see that there are a lot of fool countries in the world, like some of the European countries, giving a price to terrorism and not to the Palestinian people when they recognize, in the way they recognize a Palestinian state, not through agreement, not through dialogue, but through a group that has been attacking Jews just because being Jews, and killing and raping and burning babies, and this their price. When they see people is full enough to give them a price, they continue with their position. But anyway, I think in this moment, they are going to have to be flexible, because if not, Israel is going to finish with them, even if it's going to cost more and more death and bloodshed. Nobody wants this in Israel. They just have to free the hostages, dismantle themselves, and the war will finish in 5 minutes.
And Matti, since you've mentioned European nations, some of European nations are recognizing Palestinian state as a reward to Hamas. People might criticize it as a reward to Hamas. So why do you think Europe decided to do that? What is in it for those countries who recognized a Palestinian state?
Every case is different, but you have some cases that they did out of fear of getting all the situation to escalate and to translate it in more discomfort in their own population, if it's from the voters or Muslim voters. And you have also other countries like Spain or France that they have, especially Spain, a very high situation of a lot of corruption, and they are trying to hide in their problems, giving people to think about other things that they are not their own problems. This is very sad, and this is all conjunctural from what is happening now in this moment, looking at the short time and not in the long time what is going to be with the future and the real peace that can be between the nations. Of course, inside Israel is also a lot of criticism with the government because they are like using this situation to continue with their ideology of going until the end, even at the cost of the hostages. And this is very sad for the Israeli population. From the other side, the Israeli population has the right and the capacity to change the government if they think they are wrong in democratic elections. The Arab world is not going to do that. Hamas is not going to do that. Even the Palestinian Authority, they don't have democratic elections already more than 20 years. So let's open the eyes and see the real situation as it is. The world must press Hamas, not Israel. To press Israel in this moment is not going to bring anything good. It's just going to be more of the same. Only pressing Hamas to free hostages and dismantle themselves can bring any change on the ground.
And how do these past of ceasefire, failed ceasefire deals, and also the past of failed accord?
Because from 2007, when Hamas took the power from the PLO and the PA, in Gaza Strip, all the circle of violence that has been promoted by Hamas all the time, because you have not to forget that there was not even one single Israeli soldier in the Gaza Strip. And commodities and products and everything and electricity was flowing from Israel inside the Gaza Strip. The workers from Gaza, they were coming every day to work in Israel, and they used all this situation to attack Israel. So all the past ceasefires that have been in the past, they have been like aspirin for a cancer, a person with cancer. That's what it was. If you look at it backwards, historically, that's what it was. We are in the moment of truth. Hamas is not a movement, a legitimate movement that can exist militarily. They can maybe exist politically if they are not going to plan other attacks on the sovereign state of Israel. But otherwise, they must be erased from the face of the earth. I'm talking about militarily and politically, of course. If they are going to exist, we have to cope it in the future, but they have no place in any future as good neighbors of the sovereign state of Israel.
Thank you, Maddie, for sharing that insight. Please stay with us as we come back to you for our next discussion as well.